just waiting for all the magic paint to come on now, so that she can translate to our lovely Italian viewers. How is everybody today? It's really murky and cloudy and grim here in the UK. It's a bit chilly as well. We might use hello Anastasia, how are you? Oh, there she is.
Would you
So
mind
what do I
very
do?
quickly opening this laptop?
There's magic paint. I'm here, she says. Yeah, I'm here. She's here. The magic paint is here. We just need to.
Yeah, we'll just have to move
Had a lot of problems with the internet today, and we weren't going to go live, but we've managed to fix it.
Oh wait, I don't know who's joined now. Okay, wrong person got clicked. I've sent it to Magic Paint now, how do I? Normally it comes right up. Okay, normally no one comes. Oh, there we go.
I'm invited.
I definitely sent an invite.
We're waiting for. Hello, Karen. How are you doing, my love?
Sorry about this, guys. Normally it just pops up right at the bottom quite easily.
There you go, invite, yeah.
There we go. We should have sent you an invite now, Frederica. Sorry about that.
There we go. Hello, Frederica.
I'm very quickly putting you.
How are things in Castellamante?
Very quickly putting you
Everything good, thank you. How about you? How are you?
It's really cold here. It's really cold. So, right, today, guys, as you know, last week we did a lot of Halloween projects with pumpkins and a skull. And I did start making a backdrop. I'll show you. Because I want to photograph my project. So this is going to be my backdrop. Now you can go back and watch it on the Posh Chalk page to see how I did this. But it's just so I can make a backdrop for my projects. And basically what I want to do is make this look like an iron cast gate that we are peering through when we're looking at a scene down an autumn road with a clearing.
Quindi come vedete solo adesso vi faccio vedere un po' quelle due zucche che hanno fatto martedì scorso e ha già creato un background da cui appunto per queste zucche verranno esposte.
So what I did to start off, if you didn't see what I did, I got a piece of glass, it's just an ordinary piece of glass. I did reverse decoupage on the back. I then applied some crackle, some white paint and some vintage paint by La Magic, and that is what we got. And then I stenciled on the front, and this is where we are now picking up from.
E adesso quindi continuerà a lavorare su questo vetro, su questo background. Quello che ha fatto prima è stato fare un decoupage al contrario, quindi partendo dal decoupage contro il vetro, poi ha utilizzato del bianco e del vintage Magic Paint e ha fatto gli stencil davanti. Adesso continueremo da qui.
So as part of the, oh this is not stuck, what's going on with that? As part of the iron gate creation, I have stenciled this on here, but it's not prominent. It's not prominent enough, so I'm going to re-stencil some parts of the iron wrought gates, and I'm using one of our Posh Chalk stencils to do that, so I'm just going to go reposition it and go over a lot of it.
Quindi adesso semplicemente va a ripassare alcune parti con lo stencil perché vuole proprio dare l'idea di un cancello di ferro e dove non è abbastanza prominente va appunto a ripassare questo stencil.
And I'm going to be using, because I want this to look like a rusty gate, I'm going to be using a combination of blacks and browns. So I'm going to be using La Magic Vintage Paint, which is a dark olivey brown colour. And for the metallic component, because even if the gate is still rusty, it does have its metallic parts. I'm going to be using the Posh Chalk in carbon black.
E adesso vedete che va a utilizzare il vintage combinato con anche la pasta carbon black perché va a ricreare appunto un effetto arrugginito di questo cancello, quindi saranno parti marroni fatte con il vintage e parti più metalliche e nere con la pasta.
Now vintage is still too light for me, so did you get the colour pick out? Black. So I'm going to decant some of the vintage and I'm going to tone it down with one of our colour kits, the black, to make a really, really dark brown.
E per scurire ancora leggermente il vintage vado ad aggiungere qualche goccia di pigmento per farlo diventare un po' più scuro.
I'm just going to mix that up and that will give me a lot darker, hopefully a lot darker colour. Yeah, there we go. So we've now got a very, very dark brown, almost a blacky colour, and we've got the black carbon in the metallic colour. And I also will be potentially using hints of green, the green phthalo and the green bronze, just to give that little rusted effect to it. So I'm going to get all this rubbish out of the way because I can't see what I'm doing.
Tra l'altro vedete appunto anche altre due paste che vi ho fatto vedere che andrò ad utilizzare probabilmente qua e là per dare un effetto più arrugginito.
So I'm going to use one of my WoodUbend boards because I don't want this bleeding through the stencil. I had somebody ask a really silly question the other day. They said, why do you use a board to dab your paint off if you're going to paint a surface? That's just to get as much excess paint off the brush, because what I don't want is for this to bleed through. We need nice crisp lines when it comes to the stenciling. So here we go. And I'm keeping it motion. I'm not wiping it across the surface because that I would be in danger of wiping it underneath the stencil, and I don't want the stencil to bleed. So let us all know where you're joining us from and what the weather's like. So you know I like my weather reports. As I said, it's very murky and dull here and it's quite chilly. What's the weather like in Castellamante, Federica?
We've had a few people join us on Facebook.
Yeah.
So Iphigenia's joined and said good afternoon from Ceres.
Hi.
think so.
Oh, that's in Greece.
Yeah, it's Ithenia from Greece.
Oh, okay. Oh, γεια σου Εφηγένεια. Τι κάνεις μωρό μου?
We've also got Patty has joined and said good day, beautiful.
Good day.
We've got Donna joining, saying good morning, Sully Joe and Connor. Good morning, Donna.
Hiya, Donna.
And we also have Tammy Valoni joining, saying good morning from Washington State.
Oh, you're up early. Right, so now I've got all the black on, the black paint. I'm now going to change to my black carbon, just to give a hint of metallic, okay? Whilst it's still wet, just in some places, not all over, just very sporadic.
Quindi adesso che ha finito con la base colore, va con la pasta metallica solo in alcuni punti a dare questo effetto più metallico. Mentre è tutto ancora bagnato, ovviamente.
And now I've done that, I'm going to come in with a little bit, a tiny bit of the green.
E adesso vado ad aggiungere anche un tocco di verde, sempre molto poco.
Just to give a hint of rust, the verdigris, just in very sporadic places.
Quindi di nuovo solo per dare un tocco di ruggine in determinati punti, non molti.
And last but not least, I'm going to be using the green bronze because, as you know, corrosive process gives out a lot of different colours. I should be using orange actually, because that's the correct colour for corrosive steel, but I didn't want too much orange going on here anyway. I've already got a lot of orange.
Adesso vado ad aggiungere ancora un tocco di pasta appunto sempre verde. Come ti dicevo, ovviamente magari sarebbe da utilizzare più un colore aranciato, ma siccome non voleva troppi arancioni in questo caso, quindi non abbiamo dato il decoupage, procede con il verde.
So I'm now going to peel this off, guys. Dry it down a little bit because I'm going to move the stencil to the top half of the backdrop. Are we ready? Oh yes, that's what I wanted. So it's more prominent now. You can see the difference. You can actually see it. And you can see the little rusty effects I've tried to get going. So I'm just going to dry that off real fast. And I only need to dry this portion here because that's where the stencil is going to overlap. So I'm going to turn this around.
Quindi adesso, come vedete, è andata ad asciugare la parte superiore dello stencil solo perché deve fare il riposizionamento, quindi ovviamente è importante che dove lo stencil viene riposizionato sia ben asciutto.
I'm going to come in and line that up. These stencils are they are repeatable, so they're very easy to line up as long as you've got relatively good eyesight. Right, and off we go, same thing again.
Vedete che gli stencil sono sempre molto facilmente riposizionabili, adesso che è stato riposizionato rifà la stessa cosa.
And obviously the dark colour is going to be more apparent at this end of the board because we've got a lighter background, so you've got more of a contrast.
E ovviamente in questo caso, siccome siamo sulla parte di base più chiara, il contrasto sarà maggiore, la parte scura si vedrà di più.
Now these stencils are all rewashable, guys, so as long as you take care of them, wash them as soon as you've used them, and then store them flat. You should be able to use these for hundreds and hundreds of times, as long as you're careful with them.
E ovviamente ricordate che i stencili ovviamente sono riutilizzabili, ovviamente vanno trattati con una certa cura, quindi lavati subito dopo l'utilizzo e se appunto vengono mantenuti bene e poi ritirati anche i piatti, si potranno riutilizzare moltissime volte.
Now just coming in with the push chalk paste, the metallic paste in black carbon, just to give that metallic feel of the iron gates. I'm going to come in a little bit with my green as well.
Quindi adesso, dopo aver passato il colore, ha già applicato la pasta black carbon e ora di nuovo con un po' di verde.
And last but not least, the green bronze.
E l'ultima il green bronze.
And are we ready for the reveal? There we go. Now that is a lot more apparent, looks a lot better and a lot deeper than the previous version I had. It was too wishy-washy, the previous one I had, the previous stencil. Do you just want to take this off? So let me hold that up so you can see it. So this stencil is supposed to be iron, some of the metal work from an iron panel, and when I put the WoodUbend on, it's going to be a lot, it'll all tie in together. And you can see, because I've done it on top of the glass, you can actually see how 3D it looks. You've got that depth of
Quindi vedete che viene molto sul rilievo, viene molto utilizzato nella parte scura, dove c'è questo contrasto, e va proprio a simulare il accento, deve andare a dare l'idea di essere molto bello. E quando poi verrà inserito il cordone per il ricubamento, vedrete che sarà ancora più elegante. Ovviamente andando a fatto dentro fa proprio per seguire la tridimensionalità del design.
And the next step is, whilst I'm drying this off a little bit, the next step is now to create the perimeter of the rails.
E adesso il prossimo step quindi è proprio quello di
Just
andare a
leave it in
creare
water,
il
because I need you.
cancello.
So the first thing I'm going to be doing is these have just been on a griddle, so it saved me time because they're quite thick. So these are the WoodUbend mouldings I'm going to be using to create the steel work around the clearing, the backdrop. So they have been on the griddle there, so they're nice and bendy. But the first thing I need to do is I need to paint them. So I'm going to get some. Can you just really fast rip me a piece of that paper up there?
Sure.
Because I don't want to mess my Lazy Susan up, guys. I want it to be nice and clean. So I'm just going to get a piece of paper and then I can start painting. don't need my laser. I'm just going to use this sheet of paper. I'm going to start painting these. Now when you're painting your WoodUbend moldings, guys, spritz it a bit with water. It just helps the paint or paste or whatever medium, it just helps it flow a little bit better into the nooks and crannies. So I'm going to mix some more paint. We need some more of these though. I've not one left.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's empty. So I'm just going to mix that up whilst Connor brings me some more black carbon. Oh, he's got another black carbon. Fabulous.
It's ebony noir for the colour pick.
It's ebony noir. There we go.
Quindi adesso va a utilizzare ancora un po' più di colore, va a ricrearlo apposta per colorare i seggi. Quello che ha fatto prima è stato spostare semplicemente un po' d'acqua che aiuta a far scivolare bene il pennello e quindi colorare tutti i dettagli del peso.
And that's giving me a lovely dark browny black colour. And I'm going to pre-paint all my mouldings now.
Quindi adesso vedete che con questo color a metà tra il nero e appunto il marrone scuro va a colorare i seggi.
And as I'm painting this, I'm not going to be doing that. I don't want a smooth finish. These are supposed to be iron wrought gates, so you always get that pitted hammered look to the gates, especially if they are rusting. So that's why I'm.
E ovviamente colorandoli andrà solo a picchiettare, come vedete, non a passare proprio delle vere e proprie pennellate, perché non vuole una finitura liscia, proprio perché appunto, come abbiamo detto, devono andare a simulare il metallo di un cancello e quindi anche per il fatto che sta arrugginendo non vogliamo avere una finitura liscia.
And obviously I'm getting all the nooks and crannies, and especially around the vertical areas that are going to adhere directly to the glass, because if I have any pieces missing it's going to look silly and it's going to be really difficult to rectify. I'd have to go in with a really small paintbrush and it would take me forever.
E ovviamente adesso fa particolarmente attenzione ad andare in tutte le insenature all'interno del freddo, proprio perché una volta che poi verrà applicato sarà molto difficile andare a ritoccare essendo su vetro, senza appunto andare a sbavare magari intorno.
Had quite a few comments.
Yeah.
So Kems Adine has joined us on YouTube and said, hi, how are you doing?
We're doing great. We are creating, so we are doing absolutely fabulous. I'm just going to pop that up, guys, so you can see.
We've also been joined by Marsha Norris in the YouTube chat, who's joined and said hi.
Hi.
I don't think I've seen either of you in our YouTube chat before, so let us know where you're joining us from.
Yeah, guys, let us know where you're joining us from and let us know what that weather's like.
Speaking of, we have Kiki Alinas joining us on the Facebook chat and saying, Kalispera, it's raining here.
Kalispera.
It's one of the only Greek words I recognise now, because of how many times it's typed in the chat.
Apparently it's raining in Greece. So whilst this is still wet, I'm going to come in with some vintage. Just in sporadic places.
Il colore è ancora bagnato, va direttamente con un po' di vintage scuro.
And that's going to give me that iron wrought effect. Again, I'm pouncing, I'm not brushing, I'm not doing any smooth brush marks.
Quindi questo di nuovo aiuta a ricreare l'effetto proprio del metallo che arrugginisce e va sempre a picchiettare il colore, mai a fare una pennellata liscia.
And I'm obviously not painting everywhere, it's just sporadic places. So I've got that contrast of the black that we created with the colour picks and the vintage, and now it's just a straight vintage colour.
E ovviamente non lo faccio tutta la superficie, ma sto solo in alcuni punti per andare a creare il contrasto tra due colori.
So for now I'm going to put this piece back on the griddle. I'm not putting any of the paste on it yet, because I reckon I can dry brush those in situ. I don't need them to mix in with the paint.
Quindi adesso andare a riposizionare il fregio sulla piastra finché si asciughi leggermente, perché prima di andare a mettere le due parti, siccome non vuole che vadano a mescolarsi con quello di base del piatto, adesso devono asciugare.
So being the tidy person that I am not, I'm just going to turn that paper over and bring in my next WoodUbend piece. Look at that one, that's massive. So same thing again, coming in with, oh it says low back one. Right, I'm going to try and do this as fast as I can. I know it can be pretty boring watching somebody just sit and paint.
Quindi adesso va a ripetere la stessa cosa con gli altri freggi.
But it is a very simple technique, this, guys, and it's very effective, making something look metallic-y. Just using shades of black and brown. It's always good to observe things as well. So if you actually go out into your garden or walk down your street and just look at rusted gates, and you'll be able to see all these different colours. It's the colours that creates the rusted effect. More so, I'd say, than the actual pattern of the paint.
Quindi come ci dice Sally, è una tecnica molto facile da ricreare, in realtà anche si dà molto effetto, quindi semplicemente utilizzando diverse sfumature, diverse tonalità, si va a ricreare questo effetto metallico.
So again, just coming in with my vintage, which is a couple of tones lighter.
Di nuovo va con il che è leggermente più chiaro.
As I said, I'm not putting any of the metallic pastes on here yet, because I do believe that I can do that in situ to see exactly where they need to go, and I don't need the paint to be wet for that to happen. So let me just show you this up close so you can just see the contrast in colour there and how it makes it look. Well, I think it makes it look like steel iron. It's a bit too wet at the moment, but once that's dried off, it will look the part.
Oh, thank you, Tammy Maloney, for saying those WoodUbend are fabulous.
Yeah, there you go. So just popping that on the and I've got one more piece to do, and then we can get on with getting everything dried up and getting it adhered to the backdrop, so you can see. So again, I'm using water. I'm not flooding them. This is just a spritzer. It's not a water sprayer, so it just allows a very small stream. It's like a mist of water. Just helps you paint faster. It helps the paint get into the nooks and crannies of the WoodUbend mouldings a lot easier.
Quindi adesso procede con l'ultimo fregio e poi si potrà andare ad attaccare tutto quanto
vintage. And vintage is such a beautiful brown, and for this purpose it really does fit in with what I'm doing here.
In questo caso appunto come stai dicendo tu, vintage è perfetto per questo tipo di tecnica.
Again, I'm just going to see if I can show you that up front, up close, so you can see the difference in contrast there. Yeah. Right, so that also goes, that will go on the griddle to get nice and warm. That's going to save me time. Right, so I'm now going to bring my backdrop back in. On my lazy Susan, so I can swivel it around. And I think the first one that's going to be dry is the one that's going to go at the top. So I'm just going to get rid of everything out of the way so I can spin it round without knocking everything going flying. So you're looking at it the right way up, and I'm going to work on this upside down there. So the first piece is going to sit round about there, but I want it curving in a little bit more. So I'm going to have to, I need another piece of, use that. I don't want to be warming my glass up too much because it might crack. So that's why I keep my heat gun moving all the time.
Laurie Ramirez has just joined us and said, good morning, World 58 today. And hello, Connor. Hello, Laurie.
Right, so look at that. Oh, there you can now you can see with the colours what is starting to look like eroded steel. But let me get that nice and warm. Can you just showcase me bending this?
Yep.
So, we've warmed it up, guys, and look what happens with the WoodUbend. It goes all nice and bendy. This is bendy wood, okay? And it doesn't just bend that way, it also bends that way. So I'm now going to bend that in, like so. I actually want to bend that out. So it's going to go there on my piece. So I'm covering up these sharp edges of the glass. Right, so the next stage is to get some WoodUglue on it. You can use any kind of good quality wood glue. We recommend WoodUglue because we formulated it especially for the WoodUbend, but you can use any kind of wood glue. Just make sure that you apply the wood to the whole footprint of the WoodUbend moulding, and that will ensure a really good adherence. Thank you ever so much.
Come ci stavo dicendo Sergio, appunto è andato a scaldarlo molto bene, sapete che è una
Now people ask me, you know, you're sticking it to glass, can you still use wood glue? Yes, you can. You can use other glues as well if you wish, but we recommend wood glue for just about any surface. You can also, I see Lisa from La Magic, she uses a nail gun a lot, a staple gun, so she goes belt and braces, she really does. She'll use glue and then she'll use a staple gun. You can do that as well if you're adhering it to a wall or to a piece of furniture, and especially when it's a large piece of furniture. So I'm just going to place that on there like that. I'm going to hold that down for a little bit, and then I'm going to come in with a clean paintbrush and just plain water. And I'm just going to come in and clean up any excess glue. I mean, this glue, it does dry translucently anyway. It's not a particularly sharp piece, it is going to be a bit grungy, so the glue does dry translucent, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Now, whilst it's in place, I'm going to come back in with my heat gun, but always being careful of the glass. I do not want to break this glass after all the work I put into it. So I'm going to keep stopping and starting and keep the heat gun moving. Now you can use a hairdryer, just takes a lot longer, but there's no fear of you breaking your glass. And whilst you're heating it up, you just come in, because it's heating up and it's bending, it's drying the glue off as well, it's heating the glue up, so it's working to our advantage, and you can bend it into place even more if it's not where you already want it. Just pulling that right back because I don't want to see the corner of that glass there, pushing it in.
Quindi il passaggio che è stato fatto adesso, appunto, Sole è andato ad applicare sulla superficie il fregio e è andato a riscaldarlo nuovamente con la pistola termica. Ovviamente, siccome stiamo lavorando su vetro, la pistola termica deve essere sempre tenuta in movimento e fare attenzione a non scaldare troppo il vetro che rischia comunque di rompersi, per cui va piuttosto scaldarlo a piccole dosi. Ovviamente potete utilizzare anche un phon normale, ci vorrà semplicemente un po' più di tempo. E tra l'altro prima con un pennellino bagnato con acqua è andata a rimuovere tutti i colla che poi uscivano.
So that's our first piece in place. It will look more natural as soon as I start getting the other pieces on. Then we can do the fun part. We can start working with the other colours to make it look more rusty. And hopefully I can show you the finished effect on this and why I've made it like I have, and hopefully you can see my vision. Now my second piece, I'm actually going to cut it. Oh, and I can see lots of places on here that I've missed. So just let me...
Il secondo pezzo in realtà verrà tagliato, quindi verrà utilizzato con una parte.
Do you think the normal craft knife will be fine, or do you want me to get the scalpel?
I think the craft knife will be fine, and as long as you get some good images of it.
Yeah, sure.
So this piece here, I'm looking at it like one of the hinges on this elaborate door. So I'm going to cut it. Do I take it a little bit further? No. I'm going to cut it round about there. I'm going to get that nice and warm. I hope you can all see this. I'm going to get that nice and warm so I can slice straight through it. put underneath that. I'm going to put a bit of, I don't want to cut into the glass, I don't want to scratch it or potentially crack it. I'm just gonna,
Quindi questo pezzo che adesso poi sta tagliando andrà a fungere tra un po' l'ultima cerniera di questo cancello, quindi per questo che lo sta tagliando sotto, dopo averlo tagliato molto bene.
and there we are. So cut through like butter there. Now I've got a bit of a rough edge going on here. Have we got any sandpaper? Yeah. So I'm just going to sand that down just a little bit so we don't have that rough edge sticking out. Doesn't look very good.
Andrà a parcheggiare leggermente la parte di questa tagliata proprio per non avere una chiusura.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
So just like natural wood, because this is wood, once it's dry, once it's cool, you can just sand it like normal wood. And can you see there? I'm getting actual sawdust. Just rounding off the edges. Just taking that sharp knife mark away. I'm going to come back in with my paint and just paint that up so you can't tell the difference. I'm going to come back in now with a heat gun. And heat this up nicely. I can see some bits where I've missed though, again. So with your WoodUbend guys, because it's got so many facets to it, I always say, you know, you like this all the time, looking at it from all different directions, just to make sure that you have covered every single square millimetre of the piece. I need a bit of vintage again.
Quindi adesso vedete che stanno semplicemente a rifissare se ci sono dei punti che erano da rifissare, dopo che è andata a carteggiare leggermente il bordo. Ricordiamo che si tratta di pasta di legno, quindi una volta che il freddo si comporta esattamente come una legna,
Again, nice and bendy, just how nice and bendy that is, and I haven't heated it in its entirety. Again, I'm getting wood glue and WoodUglue all over the footprint of the WoodUbend moulding. That serves for a great application, especially around the edge. Sorry, Federica, especially around the edge of the footprint.
di nuovo stanno ad applicare la blu su tutta la parte del retro del fregio, è importante soprattutto anche nei pezzi più fini perché vengano applicati bene.
And then we can come in and we can apply that. I'm not going to put it right at the bottom because this is supposed to be a hinge on the door, on this iron gate door, so I'm just going to pop it round about there. Or should I put it on the bottom? No, no. Put it there. And we do need enough room to have this beautiful piece fit in there. Yeah, I might have to chop a piece off there, that's absolutely fine. So again, I'm going to wipe up the excess glue. So as I'm pressing down, as you're pressing down on your WoodUbend moulding, you will see glue squidging out from the underside. That's perfectly okay. That just means that the surface doesn't need any more glue. And you can wipe it up with a wet rag, a baby wipe, or as I'm doing in this case, a wet paintbrush.
Di nuovo adesso va a rimuovere questo sticola utilizzando un pennellino bagnato con acqua pulita, potete andare a rimuoverli appunto utilizzando un pennellino bagnato.
Again, being very mindful that this is glass, so I don't want to heat it up and crack it.
Di nuovo è importante ricordarci che stiamo lavorando su vetro, quindi non vogliamo andare a creparlo con il calore, quindi facciamo attenzione.
Right, I'm not going to cut any of this off, I'm just going to put it at a slanted. Yeah, I'm going to warm this up really well. There's my paper one. Right, so yeah, got it. I'm going to warm this up really well. Get my glue on and get that on the surface. Just turn that over and pop that into place. I'm just going to squeeze that in like that, so I didn't have to cut anything off. I'm just bending it.
Quindi vedete che in questo caso alla fine non ho dovuto tagliare nulla, di questo pezzo semplicemente andata a piegare leggermente il taglio.
Right, so it's now time to have some fun with more paint and the pastes to really rustify it, for want of a better word, to make it look rusty. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I've got my mix here, I've got my vintage paint, I've got my green bronze push chalk paste. Just pop that there so everybody knows what I'm using. That's Magic Vintage. Not too sure about the green, because the green really is for copper. I don't want to put orange on it, as I said, because there's too much orange going on in the project already. Got my brown Van Dyke. And I've got my black carbon. To be honest, the only real metallic effect I should have on here is the original colour of the metal, of the steel, which is black. So all these are the colours really I shouldn't be using. So I think I'm going to put some more. I'm going to come in with some vintage. Is the best colour. Vintage is the best colour to showcase how it's kind of oxidising, how the surface is actually oxidising. So I'm just going to come in and emphasise more of the vintage.
Quindi adesso anche riutilizzando le paste precedenti va a di nuovo dare un po' di quest'idea di ruggine e di colore metallico sui pesi. Di nuovo non vuole andare ad aggiungere comunque dell'arancione perché abbiamo già abbastanza sullo sfondo tramite il decoupage.
And just dabbing that on all over. Get that dry. And then I'm going to come in with my black carbon and just sweep across some areas where supposedly the oxidation hasn't yet got to the metal.
E poi adesso con la pasta black carbon va a ritoccare alcuni punti andando a simulare quelle parti in cui non è ancora avvenuto il processo di ossidazione.
And under normal circumstances where you would find your original hammerite metal effect paint on iron railings, in general it is the peaks of the actual decoration, the embellishment. What do you think that is close to? So I'm just going to hold out to the mirror, to the camera so you can see. So that is, can you see that? I think that is really looking like metal, oxidised metal, well, metal iron that is on its way to oxidation. Oxidation. It's on its way to the process. I'm going to shut up now because I'm
just say rusting.
Rusting.
Make it easy for yourself. Just say rusting.
Rusting. And it's really giving it a 3D wow factor. I will be doing a lot of reels on this, guys, so you'll be able to see it up front. I don't know how well it's showing up on the camera.
I'm not sure on the wives, but I know on my camera you can definitely see the difference.
Can you? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot more texture.
Well, that's why that is the reason why I was not smoothly applying the paint. I was dabbing it because it gives that hammerite effect when you go over it with the metallic coatings, with the pastes. So I don't think everybody can see me around there. Checking it. Oh gosh, it's all moving now. It's all come unstuck, so that I will readhere that afterwards. You do need to leave these things settle a bit, and because I'm so in a rush, it's not yet set properly. I'll reheat that up. So just bear with me a couple of minutes, guys, whilst I reheat this piece because it's come off, and that's because the glass isn't porous, so it's got nowhere to go. So the glue really needs to dry really well. In order for it to adhere to the surface.
Thank you for all of the nice comments on YouTube, saying bravissimo and very good.
Yeah, grazie mille.
And also a couple comments on Facebook. Laurie Ramirez has said, my dad's a glazer and architect and he's very impressed with your product, Solly.
Oh, fabulous.
And we've also, Cynthia Mollick joined us a little bit ago, said, beautiful morning from northeastern Ohio. One of our Greek viewers joined us and said, Kalispera, Iona Pataris. And Donna Anderson said, looks perfect when you were holding it up to the camera earlier.
Thank you, my love. That's good to know. It's always very difficult to tell if you can see what I'm seeing. And I want you to see what I'm seeing. So,
Especially when it's like slight differences in texture and metallicness.
yeah. So, there we go, my friends. I'm just going to bring the camera up there so you can see that. So I do hope that you think, or that you can see that it does look like a, oh, this has gone off, what's up with that? Are you still there? Are you still...
Oh, who's that with me? Federica, you can still hear us, right? Yeah, great. Just when you go over an hour on TikTok, it makes you do a little capture puzzle to stay live, so we were making sure that you've not gotten cut off.
Right, so I'm going to show you all, guys. I'm going to show you all live now what I'll be doing for how I'm going to be using this backdrop, okay? So if you would be kind enough, Comet, to bring the skull.
Sure.
I'm just going to bring all the stuff in that we've made, obviously. And I'm going to get Connor to pull the cameras back actually so you can see it a little bit better. So we've got all these. That's a skull that I made online the other day.
You want me to pull the cameras back?
Those two, yes, yeah, just a little bit.
Tell me when.
That's it.
Yeah.
Great. Just so people can see
Cool.
how I'm going to be using this. So I can't show you because I'll be coming in with different angle cameras, but just so you get kind of an idea. I mean, I don't really need to put the skull in there. This alone, just this piece here, you know, would be great with one pumpkin or Sue Parsons pumpkin that we did. But I'm going to be doing lots of different video and photographic. So if you can imagine if this was bigger, yeah. So that's what it is. It's basically a backdrop for my Halloween projects. Some of them I may put on higher. Oh, well, let me show you. So just for instance, I could bring paint pot in there and put my pumpkin on there, so that gives me another level of photographic depth. There you go. So I do hope you understand where I've gone with this piece, and I can assure you I have enjoyed making this. Thoroughly enjoyed making it. There's my skull. So skull can be in there. I could even use it as a flat drop, so I could lie it down and photograph things there, but I can't show you that now as we're going along. But there you have it. Obviously these effects can be used on a lot of different surfaces. It doesn't have to be on this particular one. You can see the decoupage and all the crackle behind the glass that I did create there. I'll be doing some more with glass this week. I'm going to be doing an old, I'm going to be doing a mirror, a really spooky mirror, probably next Tuesday, an old mirror out of glass. So I'll show you how to make a mirror, an old worn out mirror out of glass. And that's going to be quite dark and spooky. So there we go, my friends, that's it. I really do hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you so much for your patience whilst you persevered watching me make this. I know some parts of it are quite boring. And I just wanted to let you all know that I will be doing a class here in the workshop at the end of November. We are going to be advertising it very soon. I'm going to be doing it hopefully with Sue Parson and Jonathan Mark Mendes maybe coming. So yeah, watch out for that. First class I've done in-house for a long time. We have a long list of 180 people waiting to come. I won't be able to fit 180 people in here, so it'll be first come first serve, but we can get at least 50 people in here. So, Federica, thank you ever so much for having us. Give my love and regards to Stefano and Elisa and all the crew at The Magic Paint. Thanks for joining us. Facebook, TikTok and YouTube, thanks as usual, and we will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye!
Bye.